so many Tellarites, and a lot of other cool Prodigy stuff. Hey, it is Dr. Trek, Larry Nemecek, coming at you from the heart of Trekland and letting the dust settle just a bit on all the recent Trek headlines, so that instead of another hot take or a quick take, you're going to get a second opinion from Dr. Trek. Hey, I have been interviewing, editing, archiving, hosting, dot connecting, and fanning Star Trek for a long time now. So I just wanted to say, wow, talk about a wind-up to a season. And yes, here we are, we're staring down, and I can't wait to see part 2, the actual finale episode of the second half of season 1, the full season 1 of Star Trek Prodigy, the show that is making heads spin. You thought Lower Decks was going to be misunderstood. Wow, what about Prodigy? It is not just for kids right now. And I have been negligent. We've been, holidaying or something recently here. But look, ever since, I'm going back to at least Crossroads today. Crossroads by Lisa Schultz-Boyd. Masquerade by Nikhil Jermaine. Preludes by the whole staff. Ghost in the Machine by Chad Quant. Mind Walk by Julie and Shauna Benson sisters. And Supernova by first-time show credit winner Erin McNamara, who's been a writer's assistant all year. So good on them for promoting it. Part one of Supernova. And all I can say is, looking at that stretch run, people are agog. People are all over it. All the good that's been said the last few weeks about all these episodes running up, it's been out there. And there have been points. I mean, of course, I kind of look at things sometimes from the road not taken. I mean, gosh, we got Janeway's sister Phoebe in canon for real once again. That's cool. Acknowledging Janeway's salamander era. That was something. And oh my gosh, that full circle plot point with the Bernari, the young girl rescued telepath in Counterpoint from live action Voyager days, and having that be boy, who saw that coming? As we say, that was #UseTheUniverse. That's just awesome. That's exactly the kind of thing I mean. It's a big, wide, wonderful Star Trek world out there. Use it. Use its own history. It's not fan service when it's that clever and it's that organic to the moment. And now we've wound up with the huge... the canonistas, I say that lovingly, as you know, and all the ship nerds are just agog over the fleet and the fact that the Sovereign is in that last battle, the sad, tragic battle. I love the device of using all the evil starships once they've been turned to have red windows. That's amazing. But, the ship world is all agog over all the ships being seen and recycled. And if it's a Defiant class ship, it's the Defiant. If it will go down the line. And that's been agog. That's been out there. Everybody's been tail wagging about that. And by the way, I've got a little code breaker for the end, so stick with me, okay? But what struck me, the tide turning that I saw once Janeway's cast was introduced, just as faces in the background, first half season. And I've mentioned this off and on, maybe on Trekland Tuesdays Live, but it was like a Bechdel test for Tellarites. Yes, it was Crossroads when actually Dr. Noam met Jankum. And it's the first time, I think, two speaking Tellarites actually had a scene together. Not only that, but we're seeing species diversity. We're seeing Jankum, who's kind of the short squat, although he seems to be shorter and squatter than I realized, up against the modern Tellarite, the Kurtzman era Tellarite, what I've called the ones with tusks, the ones who are taller and a little more humanoidy, the ones that, I've called them biker Tellarites because they've come off as scummy all through Discovery and then into Picard and when they popped up. Lower Decks has been a throwback to original series, to Gaff and the original Journey to Babel brand, but Tellarites like Andorians, like Klingons, have been all over the place. They just never got even noticed and mentioned. And so thank you, everybody on Prodigy, for giving the Tellarites their due, to the point where I did fall off my chair when Jankum and Noam had a conversation, had an interaction, and we actually embraced species diversity. We embraced the biker Tellarites of the modern era with the throwback that I noticed right off, including the 5-digit Tellarites versus the tri-hoofed, the cloven-hoofed, 3-fingered Tellarites that Jankum is part of. Even his robot hand is configured in 3 digits. It's an awesome moment, but that didn't stop there, because then we get to Ghost in the Machine, another great episode. And what does Jankum do? And I've already accosted the likes of, like Aaron Walke and Chad on this. I've talked about the biker Tellarites of Discovery, the tusked, new look Tellarites, because we have to have everything look new and grimy and dirty and dark. It's got to be modern. The new look Tellarites, and I just kind of christened them biker Tellarites because that's what they seem to be. And lo and behold, really literal biker Tellarites in Jankum's holo sim fight battle action hologram holodeck suite gone bad. I just fell off my chair again. Real biker Tellarites. But not only that, again, we have Noam is coming up in all of these holodeck scenarios. We have Tellarites in all the different scenarios that were in Ghost in the Machine. I've just really appreciated seeing the Tellarites there. And then in Preludes, we get this historical, that not only is it personal history, but what in the world was Jankum doing on a sleeper ship of Tellarites before the Federation? I mean, besides the fact that Jankum was somehow asleep for 200 years, 220 years in a cryo ship, but the fact that the Tellarites were actively doing that, I mean, we have so little about Tellarite history. That's a foundation stone right there. And now we're winding up with, okay, the overall battle, the overall everything. And now we're getting spoken Tellarite when the holocoms go off again. Can't wait to see that written out. But it really has been an amazing wind-up, as everyone has pointed to. So good on the entire writing room of Star Trek Prodigy, who all got credit once again for Preludes, I should say. We can't single anyone out. Everybody just take a piece. Can't wait to hear what the total story is on all of those. It's been great to read some short interviews along with all the different writers along the way. But I mean, shout out to everybody here that I mentioned earlier for these episodes. We're coming down to the wire. One last thing. And I was late to the game on this. But yeah, when Dow gives up his security code in the panic of the moment in Mind Walk, which is a fascinating idea, by the way. And I have no doubt that you can point a phaser and make a contact on stun. No doubt that can be done in the vicissitudes of space vibration. But when he gives up his code to Janeway, GB 64N32X, very specific, it seemed to me, and very non-Greek lettery. Well, I was late to the game, but I tweeted it at Chad and said, okay, I can smell a story a mile away. I've been doing it for years. There's got to be something behind this. And he said, absolutely. In fact, I was starting to wonder about this. But since the whole episode is an homage to game playing, although in 3D holographic form, it was GB for Game Boy, 64N for Nintendo 64, and 32X for Sega. So there you are. I'm sure these episodes are littered with so many more. That's the fun part of It's always been a fun part of Star Trek for me, was tracking that down. But good on you. Good on them. I don't know. I can't wait to see the finale of Prodigy this week. It's been years in the making, it feels like. I can't wait to see them. And yes, I know we're all waiting on Picard Season 3 and everything that 2023 is going to bring us. But I have to say, what an incredible, of all things, what an incredible Tellarite renaissance Prodigy has turned out to be. And what an incredible renaissance in respect for animated Star Trek storytelling and canon building. The universe of Trek is expanding. Everybody is feeling engaged and involved with Prodigy, and that's amazing. That's amazing. If you're not watching Prodigy, if you think it's a kid's show, have we convinced you yet? Prodigy is not just a kid's show. The Tellarite lobby will convince you of that. All right. And with that, I am signing off on this second opinion. But what do you think? Come on, drop your comments below and, please like and subscribe the channel. Boost the signal. I dare you to subscribe for some Star Trek sanity. Most of all, if you crave more Dr. Trek and our Trekland point of view, check out every Star Trek podcast and live stream and experience we offer, like Trekland Treks Tours and Portal 47, every month a mini-con all year long, at LarryNemecek.com. Trek well, everybody.